Live news updates. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakha Kwadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return, and double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai.
Another short-range ballistic missile test, reckoned to total more than 40 since the start of this year. It landed in the sea separating the Korean peninsula from Japan.
Whatever the intentions are, North Korea's repeated ballistic missile launches are...
And if you know anything about the North Korea ballistic missile test, all right, you should know that North Korea, when they test fired a ballistic missile, they shot it over the country of Japan, which put them on alert.
Absolutely impermissible, and we cannot overlook its substantial advancement of missile technology.
A North Korean air drill involving around 10 military aircraft flying towards the DMZ prompted the South to scramble its jets. And North Korean artillery fired an estimated 170 shells from its east and west coasts, violating, according to South Korea, a 2018 agreement not to carry out such exercises close to the border.
North Korea's artillery fire and short-range ballistic missile launch in the buffer zone of the East and West Sea are serious provocations that undermine peace and stability on the Korean peninsula as well as the international community.
North Korea says it carried out the drill in response to a South Korean artillery exercise on Thursday, accusing it of provocation. South Korea has also imposed unilateral sanctions against people and organizations involved in the North.
And yeah, there's been a lot going on between South Korea. A lot of countries, well, because of North Korea test firing intercontinental ballistic missiles, North Korea has been accused of, provoking these other countries. So you could better understand.
But it's the first time it's taken such action in 5 years, an indication of how relations have soured. On Monday, the North announced this unprecedented period of missile testing is aimed at developing its ability to launch a tactical nuclear attack on the South. With Friday's actions, the week ends as it began, with both sides seemingly locked in escalating tensions. Rob McBride, Al Jazeera, Seoul.
Well, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Okay? The fact that we're hearing rumors of North Korea test firing all these missiles in order to develop a tactical nuclear missile that is capable of landing on South. Now, when they say the South, they're speaking of South Korea. And, a lot of people may not be aware of this, but there are United States troops and embassies in South Korea. And North Korea is not happy about the fact that South Korea is under the influence of the West. So they intend on, if South Korea won't get rid of those Western embassies and those troops out of South Korea, that, they intend on shooting a tactical nuke on them. You see? Okay, I don't know if if they showed the video just now, but, okay. In this video, they showed, what you see on the screen right here are a bunch of women who are basically grieving and complaining over the fact that their loved ones' lives were taken by a guy who went on a murder spree. You know, he had a gun. You know, I don't know if he was in a hospital or whatever, or a clinic, but they say that there was a lot of people that were ill, and when he walked in there, he pulled out his gun and he just shot them dead. You know, 17 different victims, and not one time did he get the death penalty. So now you got these women who are taking a stand on screen and you know, basically complaining over the fact that this man who is responsible for murdering all these people, he's not getting the death penalty. Well, what do you expect when you live in an unjust society? You know, first off, why would you expect justice in the wicked society? You know? You know, why would you expect justice in the wicked society? You know? There's nothing, okay, in the matter of fact, when you look up the word justice, the word justice literally means righteous judgment, okay? The word just appears in the word justice, okay? Just is where you get the word righteous from. Now, in Habakkuk 2:4, it says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. So the souls in these devils are not upright in them. So you're not going to get justice in an unjust society. Why? Because the wicked is in rulership. Okay? Furthermore, if we come over here to the book of Sirach, bear with me for one moment, please. The book of Sirach. Okay, the book of Sirach. Okay, chapter 39. And let's scroll down here. Okay, Sirach chapter 39, verse 28. It says, there be spirits created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. So there are spirits out there created for vengeance, you know? Now, I mean, it's unfortunate. Well, to you, it's unfortunate that you know, you're like my man from North Carolina would say, you know, it's unfortunate that your children got deleted, but it was a part of the Lord's will, you know? You don't know what those children did in their past reincarnations or what they did in this regeneration. Okay, they said some of the victims were 17 years old. Well, guess what, man? There be spirits created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. Okay, that sore stroke was them gunshots that got delivered. And in the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. And then it goes on to say, fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Okay, teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. So there you go. The Lord don't make mistakes. Now, let's go to Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. Okay, it says this: when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Why? Because in an unjust society, you know, you're not going to find justice for the wrongdoings of what happened to your family. Now, according to the Holy Scriptures, if somebody murders somebody of your family, you know, the family members of that family, they're the ones who's supposed to take that guy's life. But in this unjust society, somebody commit murder and they're just sitting in prison, you know. They still get a free meal. You know, they can still look at magazines and draw and doodle, do all these, you know. But, hey, that's what happens when you live in an unjust society.
Piece of garbage. Breathe.
Factors.
But experts say there is a reason it is hard to get a sentence of death.
But it's important to keep in mind that, you know, most states in the United States have either abolished the death penalty already or haven't used it in over a decade. The United States continues to be the only country in the Western Hemisphere
to have the death penalty. That's bullshit.
European
because
nations
they still using it on Jake.
Cruz will officially be sentenced
they
next
still
month,
using it on
and the
our
families
people.
Of each and every one of his victims will be able to tell the court about their suffering, about those they lost. After that, the judge could override the jury. It's unlikely. But for the families who wanted to see him die, one more chance to change the fate of the man who murdered these people. Patty Culhane, Al Jazeera.
The U.S. House Committee investigating last year's storming of Capitol Hill has voted to subpoena former U.S. President Donald Trump to testify.
With that, I'm going to say
Trump
Shalom
has never
is
before
on to
been
the next
forced to
one.
give evidence before Congress.